Mick, going against a pretty tough defense this week with the Broncos.
Yeah.
What's some of the challenges they present?
I think they're very talented on all three levels. New coordinator Vance Joseph, we played against him last year when he was in Arizona. They're well coached. So he plays an aggressive mindset, both from a coverage standpoint, pressure standpoint, and front standpoint, gets his players to play hard. But they have impact players on all three levels, whether it's Gregory in the front, Josie Jewell, linebacker, and then you have Simmons and Sertan, at the corner position and safety position. So they have really skilled players at all three levels. So it's a challenge for us, both from a personnel standpoint and a scheme standpoint, but we're looking forward to it.
What's the balance when you prepare, looking at Vance Joseph's stuff in Arizona or the personnel stuff from the Broncos?
I think you have to look at both, because when you look at them last year, they were a very good defense, and they kept a lot of things schematically that they were doing. And then you look at Vance's pass, and obviously he has a belief in what he was doing. So you try and mesh it together, and, it's opening day. You never know what you're going to get. So you try and prepare for the most you can prepare for and make adjustments on the fly. And that's what opening day is about, making adjustments as you go, because you really never know what you're going to get or what you're going to see, because they're practicing just like we are. So we're looking forward to it. That's the beauty of coaching and beauty of playing. You got to kind of make adjustments on the fly and go.
Are there more adjustments usually? I mean, there's adjustments every week, but in week one...
Yeah, week one is different. It's a whole new ball game, Just you have 3 preseasons a game to go off of, and you hope for the best, and you go out there and try to execute your stuff that you feel good about versus what they present to you. Make sure it's a follow your rules game, So you tell players follow your rules all the time, and good things will come. So that's what we try and do.
I've heard from a few people that you guys have offensive coaches, assistant coaches have gotten more ownership this year just in terms of taking control of whether it's team meetings or having more influence. How do you feel like that's helped you guys grow on your side of the ball?
Year 2, we definitely have a lot more comfortability with the players and the staff, and we know how to work together, and we feel comfortable with one another. Coach Josh does a great job of letting us coach and execute our plan together as a unit. He has hands in everything, offense, defense, and special teams, and he has a great impact on the whole team as the head coach. Obviously, he's the offensive play caller, and he has a great impact on the offense, but he touches everything here, from the personnel standpoint to the offense, defense, special teams, and he has a lot of things to do, and he puts faith in his staff to get things executed that he wants done. And I'm just grateful, and the staff's grateful for the opportunity to do that.
With Josh Jacobs, Coach McDaniels talked about, you guys have a plan going in and then you'll adjust on the fly based on what you see. Does that change anything in terms of having extra stuff if in this scenario and in this scenario in terms of snaps that he can play?
No, 47 players will be ready to go. We'll have 4 backs, at the game, and they'll all be ready to go. So we'll obviously play Josh. He's been here practicing and feeling good, and everybody will have an opportunity. And, it's funny, you play a preseason game, you have everybody there. You feel like an army of guys to play, and you get to the regular season, there's 47 on game day. And you're like, okay, and it's everybody's one play away from being in the game. And it's happened numerous times last year, whether it was Kansas City at the tight end position with Jesper Horsted. He stopped in there and played the whole game. And that happens numerous times at every position. So, whether a receiver, and it's Keelan Cole playing for Hunter Renfrow last year. So, everybody's ready to rock and roll. And, Josh is looking forward to playing, and he's anxious to be back here. And we're anxious to have him.
Okay, cool.
Good, guys. Thanks a lot, boys. Appreciate it. Yeah, no problem. I had the whole staff laughing at me.
Hey, guys. Pat, going against the Broncos team that's obviously has a new staff this year. What goes into preparing for that?
You take a look back. First, you look at the players, and see, again, you just get familiar again with the players in terms of how people have used them. They got a lot of good players on offense, starting with the quarterback, offensive line. They had some moving pieces last year, but now they're back with some additions, and you just get an idea of the players. Then from there, you look back at this in terms of Coach Payton and the guys on his staff. Past matchups and try to get a feel. But again, it's week 1 of the NFL. Who knows? Everybody's working on something different during the off season, so we'll find out on Sunday.
What have you seen from the progression of Tyree here now that he's kind of gotten back into pads and stuff, and is he ready to have maybe a more significant role that he might have to on Sunday?
No, just like all the rookies on our roster right now, working hard, using the extra time they have in terms of getting better, in the film room, getting still progressing in terms of strength and, getting acclimated to the NFL season. It's their first week of getting prepared for a regular season game. So he's working hard, Nesta, all those guys are working hard and just looking forward to their opportunity to play in NFL. I'm sure they're going to be excited.
That's something I've heard coming into this year, was that you guys as assistant coaches and position coaches have given more leeway to sort of take ownership, whether it's in meetings or things of that nature. How do you think that's helped you guys come along just as a defensive coaching staff?
I just think, as a position coach, you take ownership of your position. For me now, being in the coordinator role, take ownership of the coordinate in terms of the defense. It's something, you have to have pride in. And I know we got a great staff here that has a lot of pride in what they do. They work hard to make sure their players are in the right position, and good teaching, and, in terms of just holding them accountable. So I think, I don't know if it's unique to us but I'm sure all staffs are working towards that. But, one thing I know is I love my staff and love the way they work, smart guys and not afraid to, to speak up. So that's all you can ask for when you're in somewhat of a leadership role.
I know there's obviously some players come and go every year, but you guys have a lot of returning players this year. How do you feel like you guys have progressed when it comes to the relationships that you have with the players?
I think that's always a positive. The more time you spend around somebody, the more comfortable you get. They get a feel for you get a feel for them. How to, whether it's push the buttons or just talk to them about certain things. And I really like our group of guys we have. It's the beauty of being a coach. I'm 44, but I get to stay young with these guys. I tell them they keep me young. I might not know all the slang and stuff, but I try to stay hip. They'll probably make fun of me for that, but it's fun. It's fun. I love it. I love it. I'm a teacher. I love it. Love it.
What problems does Russell Wilson pose for you guys?
The same problems he poses for all 31 teams. Experience, start there. Strong arm, smart. He's seen everything. I think it's year 12 for him, if I'm not mistaken. Year 12 for him. So, quarterback position, he's seen everything. So, you got to do a good job of, not making it easy for him. And then, we talk about the mobility. He's been doing that since his rookie year. But, to me, the quarterback position, when they make the right decisions, even with the run game, the check to the right run, that's a big thing. Right decisions in terms of where to get the ball to. And he's shown that he could do it at a high level for a long time.
That's all good?
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Sorry about that.